stinky. I'm out of breath, but I'm more motivated than ever. My morning me time. I get up early in the morning and I do some work before I even go work out. But then I go work out at 5 a.m. 5 days a week. I go 6 a.m. one day on the weekend, but it doesn't matter. Go work out every weekday at 5 a.m. That's my me time. That's my self-improvement time. That's where I learn as much as I possibly can and try to grow my relationship with God, try to grow my relationship with my wife, and grow my relationship with my kids. Basically get my motivation back, and it's super helpful. I mean, I'm tired. I wake up and I am exhausted. But I go in the gym and I'm just listening. I'm watching YouTube videos. They're just playing. I'm setting my phone down over there, mostly like a podcast. Some of the videos I actually look over, and watch for a little while every once in a while in between sets. But that motivation, oh my goodness, it's huge. I mean, today I didn't feel like getting out of bed. Definitely didn't feel like going and working out. But after listening to like some just different people that I found inspirational in my life, I don't even want to tell you who it is, because I want you to find who it is that's inspirational for your life and the things that you are passionate about. But listening to these guys basically like put stuff in perspective. And then I'm reminded, even yesterday, I had a patient, and she's a 60-year-old woman, and her husband passed away when he was 35 years old. He had cancer, and he died when he was 35 years old, and she was close to that age. I assume she didn't say how old she was, but I assume she was close to the same age as him. And she had a 2-week-old baby. Her 4th child had just been born 2 weeks before her husband died. And then her 4th child, he grows up, he's 13 years old. The youngest one becomes diagnosed with cancer, and 3 years later, when he was 16, he died. This woman had the greatest perspective on life. She was grateful. She was thankful to God for everything in her life, and she had just such a glass half full sort of mentality that was infectious. And she was pouring out the love of God to everyone who came into contact with her. And it just had, like I said, it brought perspective to me. It just made me think, because I definitely stopped and I was like, what in the world? Like, what am I doing? I get so motivated to do all these things. Like, okay, let's do business-wise. Like, let's make a bunch of money. Let's do all this stuff. Let's blah, 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 everything. Like, I want to just work all the time and pour everything into that. And then you hear a story like that and you just stop and go, but what's really important? Where's the perspective? And I can be super motivated. And then all of a sudden it just like gets brought back in. I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe that's not what's important after all. And then I'll get back into it, into the grind, and I start going crazy, and then I get brought back again. And I think that's God telling me to maybe slow down a little bit. I like the grind. I like the hustle, and I like the rest. That's my big battle these days, is trying to figure out how to rest in between grind sessions. Because I like the grind. It gives me energy. That's what I like to do. But I also know that I need to stop and rest. And I think right now, what my goal needs to be is work when I'm at work, be with my family when I'm at home. You just have to stop and just turn off, that grind. You have to turn off the hustle, and that's hard to do, because like I said, I enjoy it. I like that. And maybe I like it too much. Maybe that's one of my idols. God's speaking to me right now, folks. I mean, this past couple months has been kind of amazing. I'm having a really awesome growth period in my life, and it's because I've been studying. I've been pouring into the things that God wants me to hear, and that's that seek, ask, knock. I've been seeking, and when you seek, you will find. And it's so true. You have to seek. Go look for it. Schedule out. Carve out a part of your day to go look for it. Go seek the information that God wants you to hear, and He'll help you find it. You'll find it. And like I said, I get so motivational, and then I get pulled back, and I get this back and forth, this tug of war, and I think it's good. I like it. I'm loving life right now. I need to keep reminding myself to stop and be engaged with my children when I'm around them, and stop being passive. I talked about this a couple days ago, but passivity, being passive, is the biggest sin of men. I think dads, it's tough. You come home from work, or hey, you're a stay-at-home dad, and you just get burnt out because you're with your kids all day long, and you're just trying to keep them from dying. Like, they're trying to get in all these situations, they're wandering off, and they're opening doors, and you're just keeping them alive all day long. And then when in the evening comes and your family's all around together, you just want to check out and mentally just be a vegetable. But God's calling us to do more, to be more than that. And not be so passive. Be active with the kids. So that's where it's tough too, is that I like the grind. So I like the grind when I'm at work, but then when I'm at home, that's when I want to veg out. I'm like, okay, have been working, and in between, like when I have breaks at work, I'm like editing stuff on my phone and making other videos and doing, all this stuff, and it's exhausting. So when I get home, I just want to veg out. And it's tough, but God is calling me, and I'm speaking to myself more than anybody else, because if you look, there's like 0 views on all these videos right now. So I know I'm speaking to myself, and I think that's what's helped me. This is that seek time that I've had, and so I know this is helpful because I'm like forcing myself to put this stuff into words, and it's helpful for me. But that's the big message for me, and I hope it's helpful for you, is that God's telling us to stop being so passive and be engaging with our families when we get home. And that's maybe part of the grind. You have to grind, and even though you don't have the energy, you just stop and just be engaged with the kids. Make that eye contact, get down on the floor, roll around, play hide and seek, whatever it is. Be engaged and hustle and rest. Find the balance. I hope that's helpful for you today, and I will talk to you tomorrow.